My name is Tarik Macmillan. This is Tamara Mohammed, and we are the co-owners of Greater Changes. We are a behavioral health and wellness agency in the Virgin Islands. We also serve Florida, Colorado, and New Mexico. We do individual counseling, family counseling. We do workshops and presentations and behavioral health consultations for agencies and small businesses. Greater Changes began as Tarik Macmillan Therapy, and Tamara had her practice. What's the name of it?
Anchored Hope Wellness.
Anchored Hope Wellness. And then we met in 2018 and just like going back and forth and talking about what we wanted to do and what we want the Virgin Islands to look like and how we would help with behavioral health. And eventually we decided to work together, and here we are. Initially it was supposed to be a private practice, and my dreams were a lot further expanding. Am I saying that right?
Something like that.
And it became an agency that is aiming to change the way we look at behavioral health in the Virgin Islands and hopefully collaborate with others in the region. Community involvement is like probably one of the biggest parts of the business. We recently did a presentation at Tech Beach Retreat in St. Thomas, and one of the things that we talked about was how any solution that does not have significant input by a community won't have the buy-in from the community. So like it really is essential to like have conversations, and we spend so much time like being in these different spaces to see how people look and think about behavioral health, look at and think about behavioral health. So we've done panel discussions, we've done focus groups, we've worked with farmers to understand farm stress, we've worked on building a telehealth platform in the Virgin Islands that will connect people in the entire Caribbean with providers. We've done work in schools, in alternative school settings, community mental health, and a lot of work with expecting and new moms. So it really is like a large, a huge variety, a huge demographic of people that we work with.
Yeah, I think beyond the services, we also try to donate to different causes, different programs that are going on, looking at wellness beyond just therapy and behavioral health, but like a holistic kind of approach.
Yeah.
So anytime we find different things that are going on, we try our best to support in any way we can, whether it's through like service or financially.
Yeah. One thing that I think is really important for people to know about therapy, selecting a therapist should be like, you should consider all the things that you want out of a therapist and what you want out of that space. So use the consultation that's usually free for most providers and ask questions like, what is your stance on trauma-informed care? How do you view Caribbean culture? How do you view navigating disconnected parts of a healthcare system? I think I could ask these questions because like I do some of the work, but I do think it's important for people to think through some of these questions. Do I want a therapist that's a man or a woman? Do I feel like some of the issues I've had has centered around like connecting or navigating spaces with either gender, or any gender? That's some of the things to think through.
Yeah, I think for me, I'd want everybody to know that therapy is for everybody. You don't have to present with like a specific kind of problem. Therapy is for mental health challenges, it's for life transitions, it's for grief, it's for figuring out what we want to do next in life. It's for everything and everybody.
There's and if you have MAP or Cigna in the Virgin Islands, it's completely free. I think that's huge. Like if you are
Government Cigna.
If you have government Cigna, it is completely free for you. If you have MAP, it's free for you. Take advantage of having access to that service. So we do in-person services as well as virtual therapy. So in person, as it says, you do it in person in one of these offices, or you can do it anywhere where you have access to a secure and stable connection. So I've done sessions with people on Buck Island. I've done sessions with people who have been to the beach, or maybe they're in their car on a lunch break. So it's just a way to be flexible and increase access to care.
And we've done something a little bit different than with the telehealth services. In our Frederickson office, we created a telehealth hub where people who don't have access to a private space, or maybe don't have the connection that they need, but they need to connect to one of our providers that don't reside on island, they can come to the office and be in a secure space to connect with a provider. So it's still a telehealth session, but they get a warm, inviting space to be able to do their session.
So one of the things that I said earlier was that initially it was private practice, and we would just be these two providers doing therapy. And I think that the direction that we're going in revolves around like sustainable community development, right? So how do we understand where the gaps in like holistic wellness services are in our community, and how do we plug them? So it may not be just therapy, but how do we integrate like thoughtful playgrounds into every community? How do we make sure that there's access to yoga classes everywhere? There's access to stretching, there's access to general exercise, access to good food. How do we help people understand where they fit in food systems, so they know how everything interacts with each other, so they could be more like thoughtful stewards of a food system. So it's a large, and I try to make it not be like this continuously expanding dream, because I'm sure that my business partner is tired of the idea changing. But in the end, like, we just want to do the best work that we can to like move things forward and help people live lives that are like that move past surviving and actually like thriving comfortably in our communities.
If people want to support our initiatives, we have established a private nonprofit foundation, Bush Tea and Therapy Foundation, to be able to provide access to low cost or free counseling services, and to provide outreach within the community. So that's one way to support our initiatives to create a healthier Virgin Islands community.
Yeah. If you see our content on Facebook or X or Instagram, share it. A lot of work that we do involves like consciousness building, awareness building on different topics. So if you see something that like piques your interest, even if you disagree with it, like comment on it, like engage with the pages, so like we will have a better understanding of like how maybe we need to change what the goal is, because most people don't agree with that goal, or what kind of language we need to use in our messaging. So engage with us on the different social media platforms.
On Facebook and X, it's at Greater Changes. On Instagram, it's at _Greater Changes. And our website is greaterchangesllc.com.
Where you can request appointments directly online. You don't have to print anything and fax it or scan it back to us. Everything, like, you literally can request an appointment and have an appointment set for you in 10 minutes. So take advantage of us moving forward using technology to be more efficient.